welcome to HITC Sport. Right, let's see what went on in the Premier League this weekend. Alright, let's go. West Ham 3, Liverpool 2. West Ham are third in the league. What? Not only that, but do you remember when Leicester won the league in 2016? Well, the Hammers have one more point after 11 games than the Foxes did in 2015. And we saw what happened there. West Ham, yes, West Ham are in a pre-Christmas title race. Well, what has happened? Have I gone deaf? Did I smack my head off the floor? Am I really just rotting away in some cum awards and choking on half my teeth? Honestly, someone pinch me and tell me this is real life. For years, the West Ham fans used to speak about their owners as if they were the reincarnation of Satan and his wife. I was always confused. Yeah, they look like a couple of Sesame Street puppets. Still Christ, David Gold looks like a combination of Count Olaf and the villain of a Zoolander, but still, they open their checkbook and regularly pay for £30 million footballers.
There's absolutely no reason why we can't be playing in the Champions League within the next 5 years, DG.
Everyone used to laugh at this, as if these were the mad ravings of an oxygen-starved lunatic who shoots birds at the airport. And it's 5 years later, and the Hammers are third in the league. And not only that, but with David Moyes as the manager. When this man was initially appointed the West Ham boss in late 2017, in the depths of a crisis, it was one of the most underwhelming appointments ever seen in the Premier League. West Ham fans were groaning into their morning coffee. Hiring a guy who just finished bottom of the league? This was the second coming of Avant-Grande. They were probably already mentally preparing for trips to Wigan and Hull in the Championship. I mean, many people gave up on David Moyes in 2014, deciding that he was just a complete sausage pie boss after being turfed out of Man United. Sunderland, that job could have destroyed him as a manager. Like how apparently the Newcastle-1 killed Steve Bruce. I mean, make no mistake about it, that was 4 years of nothing but David Moyes' failure. The man could have gone the Chris Coleman route and just run off to the Chinese sunset, chasing a big fat bag of cash. But to be fair, even in May 2018, even when his stock was stuck to the foot of some rubbish bin, he was still saying things like this.
Bullish David Moyes invites West Ham to show they can match his ambition. David Moyes is heading for the exit at West Ham, and he wants a top 8 Premier League club for his next job.
Top 8? I thought this was delusion. Pure, wet delusion. But now, 3 years later, we live in 2021 in a world where these are actual headlines.
Manchester United told to swoop for David Moyes in sensational managerial return. Moyes will be candidate for Man United job.
Yeah. David Moyes finished 4th in the Premier League with little old Everton in 2005. It's 17 years later and he's threatening to repeat the same magic trick with West Ham. It's unheard of. I mean, we've seen the tactical brilliance of Arsene Wenger be left behind in the mud, unable to navigate his way into modern football, and yet Moyes, he's outlasted nearly everyone. When Everton finished 5th in 2005, only 3 managers from that Premier League season are still in a job. Jose Mourinho at Roma, Rafa Benitez at Everton, and Moyes is 3 points off the title at West Ham. They say he wasn't a high-profile enough coach to command the respect of the dressing room at Man United. But isn't that what a 6-year contract is for? If the likes of Robin Van Persie and Wayne Rooney didn't like having ketchup banned from their sandwiches, then maybe shove them out the door? Rio Ferdinand didn't like to be told to model his game on Phil Jagielka. Funny, within a year, Rio will be gasping for air, clutching his kidneys in a relegation battle at QPR, bumbling about like a one-legged donkey, while Jagielka is still playing football. Maybe they should have listened to David Moyes. That man has created a team of fighting winners at West Ham, despite losing their best player in the summer. Steve Bruce is 1,000 games into his managerial career and looks like he's ready to collapse. But Moyes, he's 1,003 games down and he wants to go back to the Champions League. Maybe Moyes would have done a good job at Old Trafford. Maybe you needed to go through that teething process in 2014. I don't know, maybe. If Manchester had just allowed Moyes time to flush the aging egos out of Old Trafford, then maybe David Moyes would have brought a Premier League title to Manchester United. I don't know. Maybe. But as for Liverpool, they didn't even play that badly. They were just overwhelmed by West Ham's spirit. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. I think Alisson Becker's own goal was very much a foul. Trace move, Angelique Vana is practically elbowing the Brazilian in the neck. The equalising goal from Trent Alexander-Arnold was Dimitri Payet-esque, but Pablo Fornal's counter-attacking goal. Alisson then decided to show the wrist strength of a puppy with arthritis. And then Kurt Zouma peels off Sadio Mane to nod in at the back post. Listen, this was a horrendous Alisson performance. But to me, he's still the best goalie on the planet. These things happen. Southampton 1, Aston Villa 0. I'm actually gonna get sick. That was scum. I hate Adam Armstrong, and I'm sure so does Dean Smith. Go back to the 25th of September, when Aston Villa pulled off a famous late Old Trafford win to sit 8th in the league Imagine telling Dean Smith then that he had just 40 days left in his job. 5 defeats in a row for a club who spent £90 million in the summer. That is an utterly revolting run of results. Their defence has been a complete dustbin of wet garbage. How Tyrone Mings is keeping Ben White out of the England squad? Does somebody want to explain that one to me? So far this season, watching him defend has been about as much fun as watching Susan Boyle take a bath.
No one will ever compare the real GOAT.
Give me a second here. I think I might need a minute here to get sick in the sink. And it's not just because I got 7 cereal bowls worth of milk lodged in my throat. But they say I've got the prediction ability of a dead kitten, right? Well, just play the damn clip.
Sorry lads, this is going to be another clean sheet for Southampton, and a pretty comfy 2-0 home win before Smith gets dumped for Palafonseca.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If Villa go now and appoint Palafonseca, then I'm going to look like the biggest genius since Albert Einstein. Listen, I think Fonseca would be a brilliant choice, but why not John Terry? I know he's got the managerial experience of a half-eaten Twix, but the man already knows the Villa dressing room and clearly knows how to organise a defence. The fact this man has taken the long road to management, the slow and sensible way, leaving his ego at the door to learn off a former Walsall coach, instead of the Frank Lampard route of eagerly jumping headfirst into the dream job at 40 years of age. I might be wrong, but I have a feeling that taking the low-key, behind-the-scenes route, I think, give it 5 years, and I have a feeling that John Terry is going to be regarded as the best English manager on the planet. Brentford-1 Norwich-2. If I'm a Brentford fan, then I am barricading myself in my neighbour's bomb shelter until May. Honestly, if you support Brentford, do yourself a favour and throw your TV in a bin, feed your season ticket to your dog, and just delete the Brentford score updates app from your phone. Because honestly, the next 6 months are going to be utter torture. Honestly, if I was a Brentford fan, I would rather be pregnant with gremlin twins inside my womb, chewing at my kidneys as if they were made of butter, because of this. Oh, it's going to be horrific. Suddenly, you've just lost 4 games on the bounce. You're 14th in the league and just 4 points off the relegation zone after losing at home to Norwich. Norwich, please tell me, how does one lose at home to Norwich? A complete rubbish dump of a football team without a creative bone in their spine. I mean, do you remember before the season, neutrals were frothing over a potential midfield partnership of Billy Gilmore and Todd Cantwell? Well, turns out Gilmore is actually an overrated lump of turnip juice who hasn't made it off the bench since mid-September, while Cantwell is now just a Britney Spears lookalike playing for the Norwich under-23s. If I'm a Brentford fan, after watching this, oh, I'm panicking. But listen, great result for Norwich, but then you immediately choose to sack Daniel Farke after that? I mean, don't get me wrong, the guy's got the top flight tactics of a steak and kidney pie. He's got a Premier League win percentage of 12%. 12%! Imagine if I got that on a French exam at school. I mean, try and bring that back to the house to show my mother, and she'd very quickly punch me in the teeth. But Farke desperately needed a go, but the favourite for the job, Frank Lampard? No! What, do you really think he'd want to go and stamp an almost certain relegation on his CV? That man's next job should be an ambitious project. I can see him stepping into Scott Parker's shoes at Bournemouth in the Premier League next season. You know, when he gets sacked in the Christmas of 2022. Not this Norwich gig, no! But no, honestly, if Lampard winds up being the Norwich City manager, I would happily drink 2 pints of mashed banana. Chelsea won, Burnley won. Oh, okay, right now Chelsea fans are going to be furious. You would think this was a clear case of them utterly bottling the chance to go 6 points clear, but no! I'm sorry, but they actually played well. You had 25 shots to 5. I mean, Ross Barkley is a man whose career was trapped in the Stamford Bridge attic and was clearly terrified of summer links to Burnley. So much so that he clearly took the opportunity on Saturday to prove that his natural ability is so far above the standard of Burnley. I think everyone seems to forget, Barkley, when on form, is actually a damn good player. And here, easily stepped into the shoes of Mason Mount. But yeah, they were just unlucky that Matai Vydra stole a point. Crystal Palace 2, Wolves 0. What more can I say about Patrick Vieira? I said it last week. He is doing the job at Crystal Palace that Frank de Boer wanted to do 4 years ago. I mean, de Boer had these ball-playing ideas in his head. It's just a pity he had the execution of a garden gnome. Anyway, another brilliant performance from Palace. Wilfried Zaha putting them 1-0 up before the other Chelsea baller Conor Gallagher scores the second. Will Gallagher have a future in Chelsea midfield? I'd say there's probably more chance of him growing a second knob in his forehead, but this man is going to carve out a brilliant career in the Premier League in mid-table and maybe get himself 5 or 10 England caps. I'll admit it, for West Brom last season, I thought this guy wasn't fit to lace Todd Cantwell's boots, but this guy was what? Chelsea's 13th choice midfielder who somehow crawled himself onto the bench for a Europa League final. This is a 21-year-old boy who's already had heart surgery. Yes, actual heart surgery. I'm surprised Chelsea didn't immediately dump him in a skip. So the fact he's been able to carve his way into a Premier League starting 11, playing under an actual legend of the sport, so might a miracle in itself. Brighton 1, Newcastle 1. Yeah, so Eddie Howe was sitting in the crowd watching this match. He must have felt a stiff pain in his throat. Try to stomach this, watching this brand of Neanderthal caveman football. Christ above, Amanda Stavely sitting beside Howe, forcing him to watch that. It's like me sitting at the kitchen table, forcing my mother to watch HITC Sport. No, she doesn't. Instead, she looks like she's about to get sick on the coffee table. Every time a Newcastle player misplaced a pass or banged the ball into row Z, she probably kept trying to desperately distract Howe with anecdotes about her latest trip to the cinema. Howe would have been well within his rights to get up from his seat at half time and escape out the bathroom window. You know, as if he's on a date with someone who looks like a shaved Bigfoot. Listen, Leandro Trossard puts Brighton 1-0 up in the first half with a penalty. Isaac Hayden volleys in an equaliser. And then Callum Wilson, 89th minute, skips around Robert Sanchez, gets tripped. Goalie gets sent off, and Lewis Dunk has to stand in nets. I'm sorry, a lanky Lewis Dunk who can't even fit inside the goalie jersey. A Lewis Dunk whose hands are too big for the gloves. I'm sorry, this is like sticking Stephen Merchant on the goal line. John Joe Shelby had a free kick 25 yards from goal, hit it, smack it along the floor, put a daisy cutter, hope it goes through his legs. Instead he crosses it to the back post. Ridiculous! You didn't even force Lewis Dunk to make a single save. Eddie Howe was probably watching all this, seeing his future players show the decision making of an indecisive grandmother, and honestly, he was probably trying to text Aston Villa's cushion Perzolo underneath his seat. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. Arsenal 1, Watford 0. Arsenal are 5th in the league. Arsenal are 6 points off the top of the league. I think Mikel Arteta might be due an apology. I know this is just a 1-0 win over a pretty mustard Watford team, but still, I don't care. We're in November, and just 3 points separate you and Man City. I mean, this day last year, they were spanked 3-0 at home by Aston Villa. Nobody would have complained then if Arteta was immediately dumped on the spot. But you've stuck by him, and he's created a youthful team with Emile Smith-Rowe as the new face of this breed of Arsenal fighters. I don't want to get carried away and declare Arteta the next world-class coach, but look at that form. He's getting spanked 5-0 by Man City. You're unbeaten in 8 league games, winning 6 and keeping 5 clean sheets. That's pretty damn good. Everton 0, Tottenham 0.
But there will be goals in this game. The last 5 times Tottenham have travelled to Goodison Park, there have been a combined 26 goals. That is ridiculous.
Whoops! I've already said it. Tottenham under Antonio Conte are going to be a complete shepherd's pie casserole of nonsense. Their ambitions don't align, it's going to be a complete disaster. And anyone who watches limp and lifeless attacking display will know the Italian serial winner has just fed a chunk of his reputation into a broken vending machine. Anyway, that's it, fellas. Let me know in the comment what do you think. Alright, enjoy the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.